Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. It's race day. NHRA is in Seattle, Washington. Before I get into all that, new shirt alert. Back. I'm going to have the link down below. Go check it out. That shows them I sent you. They got all kinds of cool merch on sickthemag.com. So, first round, they kick off in top fuel. We're going to do highlights from the first couple rounds for all the categories. Semis, we'll get down to the details. So, let's get into it. So I didn't mention, if you hadn't seen the recap, my recap I got out, I put it out for yesterday. I put it out real early this morning. If you're going to check that out, get caught up. So they kicked off, first pair was Josh Hart and Antron Brown.
Josh Hart off the starting line first. And he gets there first, 374.2, 328 miles per hour. Ron Douglas, John Stewart and the team turn on a win light here in round number one.
That was a good tight race. 14,000 at the stripe. Josh 65 on the tree. Antron 75 on the tree. 374 with a 2 to 374 with a 5. Very good race. First pair out. And also, I didn't mention, yesterday's track temperature was 138 degrees. Today, the track temperature, 86. So, huge change for all of it. They can just throw out whatever they had yesterday. Forget it. They may can go back closer to Friday night's run. But anyway, I digress. Clay, second pair out. Clay Milligan, my brother. He had Sean Reed, and this is how this looked.
They're looking for a round win here against Sean Reed. It's Clay Milligan with the starting line advantage. And the win light, 371.3, 334 miles per hour. And the Parts Plus Rick Ware Racing Ford team is in to round number 2.
And as I copy Cletus, hell yeah, brother. Clay went 371 to Reed's 372, which was a great run by both of them. But Clay, thank goodness, got to the stripe first, 79 on the tree to his 95. So Clay moves on. He'll have lane choice over Tony Schumacher. But the really fast pass was Doug Coletta. He went 367, 337 miles an hour over Billy Torrance. Billy Torrance went 370 and loads up. So I told y'all I film as I go. So Funny Car was wild. They've been having some sprinkles on and off. Not that any that has to do with anything, except right now we're on a whole pattern because it's raining. Digressing again. Ron Capps, huge explosion. I'm about to show it. He's okay, but huge.
The number 2 qualifier. That car is back in a big way. Gary Densham wants to see if he can cool off that Toyota. Capps off the line first. Pedal fest. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, a big boomer for Ron Capps, and Gary Densham gets the win. 497, 200 miles per hour, and Ron Capps' car launches the body down there at 1,000 feet and has come to a rest. And Ron Capps, he is out of the car, hands waving in the air, and Ron Capps walks away into the safety safari. And here's another look. It was Capps off the line first. Gary Densham, look at them both feather the throttle. Just kind of easing into it. Now right here, Gary's like, I don't see him. He can hear him. And they're both slapping the gas on and off, cylinders out. Look at Ron. Wow, no warning at all. A massive explosion for that GR Supra. And Ron is doing all he can to keep it off the wall, but it comes over, catches the right side with the rear end, and now he's pretty much along for the ride. Look at him. He's got a handful of brake. He's trying to get that car to stop, but it is just bouncing around. It's going to come over and nose into the left side of the wall as well.
That was wild. I'm so glad he's okay. He was stunned. I know he was just sick at his stomach. He made sure to say he got on camera right quick to make sure his wife knew he was okay, because it was bad. He even said he don't even know if he's been through one like that with all hitting both walls, and it was crazy. There's so many questions because his body left, like the body exited, which was good, but John Force's didn't. So all kinds of stuff. Parachutes did come out, thank goodness. So I'm just thankful he's okay. The next one, I thought that was going to be my highlight, but then there was another highlight. Dave Richards against Matt Hagan.
See if he has enough Matt Hagan here in round 1. No. Oh, hang on, Dave. He's into the wall. Matt Hagan goes 389.1, and Dave Richards whacks the wall at 100 feet in the right lane. And that new front half is going to need work. It immediately took the tire off and just kept going. Dave never got it back. The second it was headed towards the right side wall, it just continued on straight trajectory.
What a wild round. Dave Richards, bless his heart, they interviewed him and he wasn't, it was a little different than Caps, but thank God he's okay too. Thank goodness it did mess up the wall. They did have to repair it, and I'll show you a picture of that too because it's curved out. But anyway, so now we're in a holding pattern for rain. So Pro Stock Car got underway after they finally got all that rain gone. I hope it's gone. A couple highlights. Yesterday I spoke on Corey Reed moved from Pro Stock Motorcycle to Pro Stock Car. He made his debut this weekend, and here's how. He was the first pair out, and here's how it went.
Identical reaction times. Who's got the better hot rod? Oh, Corey is all over it down there, and Troy Coughlin drives by 1/100th of a second. And at about 1,000 feet, that car made a big move over to the right, and he shoved the clutch in. Feedy was 200ths out in front. Here's another look at the instant replay. Up on Sunoco Vision, and watch the white Camaro for J&A Services. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong until there. Wow, that is a big move in a Pro Stock car. I'm telling you. You might be watching that at home thinking, what's the big deal about that? But in a factory hot rod with no downforce on the back of those cars, that is a massive move.
Heck of a race. First pair out, your debut running Troy Coughlin Jr., but great job. 28, both of them a pair. 657 with an 8 for Troy, 658 with an 8. He also talked about the car spinning, the bumps, and I wanted to show you that too.
Tough move to do when you're in the lead to have to shut the car off because it was getting loose, but you didn't have a choice out there, did you?
Oh man, no, it was. I've been sashaying the wheel a tiny bit, so I probably have a little input on that one, but it was definitely spinning hard and, better than wadding the thing up. But it is what it is, it's racing.
Next highlight was Chris McGahey versus Derek Kramer.
Just behind it. Chris McGahey with a massive starting line advantage. And he hangs on. Wow, what a drag race. 4 10,000ths of a second. Chris McGahey wins it on a hole shot. Foul looks like at the finish line. Advantage to the Silver Bullet.
Woo, and that is what 4 10,000ths of a second looks like. 17 to a 54, 656 to a 652. Chris McGahey got it done on the tree. And then one more highlight was Dallas Glenn versus his boss, Greg Anderson.
Leader. Car that struggled in qualifying. Dallas, the number 13 qualifier for the first time in his career. And he leaves on the boss man. And he steals one from the boss man on a hole shot. 652.8 at 209 miles per hour. Dallas Glenn by 66 10,000ths of a second.
All right, Dallas Glenn, points leader, takes out his boss, Greg Anderson. Dallas is 23 to Greg's 43. 652 with an 8 to a 651 with a 4. Dallas Glenn moving on. Pro Stock Motorcycle, Matt Smith versus Hector Arana Jr.
Helped them a whole bunch. But it was a step in the right direction. Hector's bike stumbled down low. And he can go ahead and get ready for Sonoma. 6.709 at 202 miles per hour. And Matt Smith resets both ends of the track record here at Pacific Raceway.
And as always, Matt Smith got that bike rolling. 670.202 sets both ends of the records of the track. And then the next highlight was Chase Van Sant versus Brandon Lighton. I believe this is his debut. He's 18. This is how it went.
Brandon Litton with the starting line advantage. That bike's moving to the center line. He's got to pull the clutch in. And Chase Van Sant goes 6.735, 200 miles per hour. His quickest run of the weekend. Brandon got a block down there.
Second round highlights, Top Fuel, Clay Milligan versus Tony Schumacher.
Tony Schumacher with an 048 light, but he smokes the tires, and Clay Milligan goes 375, 331 to take Brickware Racing, Parts Plus, and Ford into the semifinals. Look, just bring the Aussies over. Let them hang out with you for the weekend. You start going rounds, Clay.
Clay gets it done. 375, 331 miles an hour. Tony smoked them. And I know that y'all see that in the video, but sometimes YouTube hits me and takes the video out. So that's why I'm not really repeating myself, but just in case, you just never know. Funny car highlight, Blake Alexander against Gary.
World title. Gary Densham is pre-staged and his crew is out in front of the car. Blake chunks in. Gary's got to go. I don't know if they got the idle set. Densham's car over towards the wall. Look at this! Wow! Blake's car drives around 407. Gary Densham was on his way to the semifinals and the car quit at 700 feet and Blake got around 407, 306 miles per hour. Never thought I'd say this. Gary Densham left first with a 192 reaction time. Everything about the stage process there was messed up, and look, Blake with a hole out, spinning, and Gary's car goes quiet just past the 660 mark.
That was a bit of a wild one, 407 to 425. Blake moves on. Pro Stock car highlight, the champ, Erica Enders against Troy Coughlin Jr.
TJ's probably thinking to himself, I need to do my team a favor on the starting line. He does not. Not for lack of effort, but Erica Enders is 0-11. Wow, look at this. Troy's got more race cars, 653, 9, 210. Who saw that coming? Troy Coughlin Jr. drives around Erica Enders to go 653.9 at 210 miles per hour.
Heck of a race. Troy 17 on the tree, Erica 11 on the tree. 653 takes out her 655. That was a tight one. Margin of victory 14,000 at the straight. Highlight for Pro Stock Motorcycle, Gage Herrera versus Gianna Evaristo.
This where the streak ends for Gage. Not based on reaction time. And it's a whole shot win for Gage Herrera. 673, 200. Wow, Gianna Evaristo went 203.9 miles per hour, going 670 with a 4. A career best run for her by a country mile. Both ends of the track wreck and loses on a hole shot.
Heck of a run. Gage 37 on the tree to Gianna's 87 on the tree. 673 by Gage to Gianna's 670, 203. She takes the track record, both ends, ET, mile per hour, but in the trailer she goes. Semis, Clay Milligan versus Sean Langdon and Steve Torrance versus Doug Coletta.
Trip to the finals here in Seattle on the line. First pair at the Final Four, top fuel, Clay, Sean, ready. Sean Langdon off the line first. And he wins a great drag race on a hole shot. Sean Langdon by 2 thousandths of a second. Clay went 737, 3.737, and ran out of racetrack to run down Sean Langdon. Another look, you could see the difference on the starting line as Sean was 051. Clay's car locked up the clutch and started charging hard on the big end, but ran out of track. 377.1, 2 thousandths of a second. The margin of victory at over 325 miles per hour. Torrance go back to the finals after winning this event 1 year ago. Will the world champ knock him off and race his teammate? Starting line reaction to Doug Coletta. He smokes the tires at half track. Steve Torrance heads back to the finals in Seattle. 373.6, 330 miles per hour.
Racing, that's what it does. You go from hero to zero and vice versa in that many seconds. It just happens. It won't be the last time. I hate it for Clay. I hate it for his team. I really know how that feels going for the whole week, thinking about, I just want to get back in the car and do a reset so that I can get rid of this feeling that I let my team down. I know that's how he feels. It sucks. There's nothing nobody can say, but they're going to move on to the next one. Forget it. Just get back in the car. They had a great weekend. I mean, they did hurt some parts along the way, but they got to the semis. They're going to run in the mission food next week. They need the points. Moving on. But after all that preaching, I never even said what happened. Langdon was 51 on the tree. He ran 377. Clay was 87 on the tree. He ran 373. The margin of victory was 2 thousandths of a second at the straight. Langdon for the win. Torrance, 94 on the tree. 373 to Coletta's smoking the tires. So it'll be Langdon and Torrance in the final. Funny car semis. Blake Alexander versus Paul Lee and Austin Prock versus J.R. Todd.
Blake right, Paul Lee left for a trip to the final. Paul Lee with the starting line advantage. And for the first time in his career, Paul Lee will race for the Wally in Nitro Funny Car 3.998, 324 miles per hour from his brother Nate Hildahl, and a trip to the finals on the line. J.R. Todd, 045. Does he have enough race car? No. 388.4. Austin Prock, 330 miles per hour by 13 thousandths of a second. A phenomenal drag race in the semifinals of Nitro Funny Car. Austin Prock was good on the track.
Look at Paul Lee, $399 to Blake Alexander smoking the tires, and Austin Prock is $388 to JR's $392. Paul Lee is going to the final, and Austin just keeps on rolling. Pro Stock Car Semis is going to be Dallas Glenn versus Troy Coughlin Jr. and Jed Coughlin Jr. versus Chris McGahey.
Celebrate with his people right here in Seattle for a trip to the finals, Northwest Nationals. Here's Dallas Glenn and Troy Coughlin Jr. Dallas Glenn with the better reaction time, 0.31 to an 0.57. And he's got enough race car. Dallas Glenn has hole shotted his way all the way to the final round. Elite has won the last 4 national events. That streak could come to an end. The win light turns on for the silver bullet on the right side. Jeg with the better reaction time. And Jeg to the final, 6:53.7.
Dallas Glenn is hole shotted his way all the way to the finals. That is crazy. He's had a great day. He was 31 on the tree, 655 with a 6 to Troy's 57 on the tree, 655 with a 2. So, heck of a race. Then Jed Coughlin takes out Chris McGahey. He's 653 to McGahey 658. So, to the finals, Dallas Glenn versus Jed Coughlin Jr. Pro Stock Motorcycle, Gage Herrera gets the bye run. The way the ladder fell, he gets a bye run. So, he's moving on to the finals. And then Matt Smith versus Chase Van Sant.
Number 2. That didn't sound very good, did it? I could be wrong, but it just sounded a little off to me. 678.1, 200 miles per hour. Matt Smith's bike will not fire, and Chase Van Sant will go to his first final round. Oh, man. And it labored through the starting line to go 689 at 197. You gotta be kidding me.
Wow, so Gage's bike did sound funny on that bye. He only ran 678, but you know, who knows. So Matt Smith can't even get his cranked. Chase Van Sant's never been to a final. His first final, good for him, 689, so that wasn't a great run for him either. But Gage and Van Sant to the final. We're gonna kick it off with Pro Stock Motorcycle, Chase Van Sant versus Gage Herrera.
The final round of Pro Stock Motorcycle is set. Chase Van Sant with a better reaction time by 8 thousandths of a second. Is the streak over? It is! Chase Van Sant ends the streak and wins his first national event in Pro Stock Motorcycle. 6.720. 201 miles per hour, and after 46 consecutive rounds and 11 consecutive national events, the Giant has been slayed.
Chase Van Sant stops Gage Herrera, 17 on the tree, 672 to Gage's 25 on the tree, 675. Congrats to Chase Van Sant, his first win. That was cool to see. Pro Stock Car, Jed Coughlin Jr. versus Dallas Glenn.
Surefire Hall of Famer. Can Dallas Glenn win his home national event? And can he knock off one of the greatest of all time? Jeg with the better reaction time. Dallas's car drives to the right. And it's going to be Jeg. 6:53.6, 209 miles per hour for the 3rd time this season. Jeg Coughlin Jr.'s comeback tour continues to get stronger. His nephew TJ.
Jeggy gets it done. That's his 3rd win this season. He was 10 on the tree, 653 to Dallas Glenn's 26 on the tree, 654. So congrats to Jeggy. Up next, funny car, Austin Prock versus Paul Lee.
Paulie has never been to a final. He leaves on Austin and smokes the tires, and Austin Prock has his 4th funny car win in 2024. 387.5, 334 miles per hour.
Austin Prock, 387, 334 miles an hour. Paulie smokes the tires. That's Austin's 4th win. He had the maximum of points that you could get this weekend. All the quickest of the sessions in qualifying, won the mission food, #1 qualifier, wins the race. I think they said he's a little bit over a whole race ahead of everybody in the points right now. So congrats to Austin. Top Fuel final, Sean Langdon versus Steve Torrence.
Texas. For the final time, this is Top Fuel. Starting line advantage to Steve Torrence. He hazes the tires. A coast fest. It's Steve for the win. 396.3, 279. Capco goes back to back here at Pacific Raceways. Both cars got in trouble. Sean Langdon's car went quiet. Steve was able to roll back into the throttle, and look at him try to pop out of that dragster. Somebody get the 6-shooters ready, because Steve Torrence is back for the first time since last year at this race. Sean Langdon had a cylinder out at the step, and you see Steve give it a couple pedals, and Sean's car go quiet. You could see on the starting line, if you look closely behind Langdon's team,
Steve Torrence gets it done in a coast fest. So that was a little bit wild. Sean Langdon's car goes dead. Steve pedals it, gets it back, and coasts across for the finish, for the win. It's been a year since Steve's won, which is crazy. A year. He won last year's Seattle event. So congrats to them. Congrats to them Capco boys. I will be in Sonoma next weekend. Look for my live feeds. I appreciate you guys watching, liking, subscribing. Leave me a comment, because you know I love them. Go check out the merch link down in my description. That just lets them know I sent you. I appreciate it, and see y'all next week.